Good morning, Nigeria, and welcome to another great episode of Enterprise Friday, reaching you from Enterprise Television. I am Henry Igwebike, and we'll be starting today with our newspapers, and right after that will be our main conversation also for today. Please do well to be part of what we do. Have a say in what we say. You can always find and reach us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. We're joined right now via Zoom from Lagos State, Nigeria, Barrister Fred Nzeakor, a barrister, a law and a development economist. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for being here.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you so very much, sir, for your time. So we'd love us to start with the Daily Trust newspaper. And the big story here, PDP BOT backs NWC members insist on June 30 NEC meeting. But I'd love us to talk to this particular issue. It's your area of forte. NJC sends 9 Imo judges on compulsory retirement. Barrister, what does that mean?
Yes, what it means is that the judges have been profiled. There must have been petitions against them. They may have faced some queries and inquiries about their conduct while in office, and NJC may have found them their conduct short of the expectations of their exalted office. And they were given a kind of pat on the back, or rather a slap on the wrist. So instead of dismissing them outrightly, they were asked to retire compulsory. So that at least they will still go with their honor left with them and enjoy their retirement benefits. Because if they were dismissed, it would have, of course, you know the import of dismissal from office. So what it simply means is that NJC, as one can say, NJC is now more vibrant and more active than they used to be. And many Nigerians will want to encourage them to continue in that regard. The office of a jurist is an exalted office that one should maintain with integrity and dignity.
Very, very true. Because just a couple of days back, Barrister Obani SAN, Monday Obani SAN, while addressing the NBA in Abia State, stated that unfortunately the judiciary in Nigeria is no longer for the common man, but for the man with the biggest pocket. What do you think this would do to the reputation of the judges that have been asked to momentarily leave the service?
Well, I do not think that much harm was done to their reputation, because a lot of Nigerians will not know that their retirement was compulsory, and a lot of Nigerians will also not know why they were compulsorily retired, because so many factors could have caused that. It may not be only on issues of bordering on integrity. It may also be issues bordering on possibly the lack of capacity to continue to discharge the expectations of their office. And we do not know what exactly must have transpired. So it will not directly impugn on their integrity. But it is important that judiciary continues to cleanse itself, because it is only the agency that can cleanse itself and ensure that it maintains that level of respect from Nigerian people and from all who patronize the judicial system.
All right, beautiful, Barrister. But let's get to the Guardian newspaper for today. We have on the top strip here, use presidential power to restructure Nigeria, create state police. Afenifere tells Tinubu. Barrister, you will agree with me that before now, even during the Nzeakor era, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as at the time, believed in restructuring. He said so much about it. He equally talked about state policing as the only antidote to solving criminalities and violence in Nigeria. Unfortunately, we have the president as the president of the country, the 001 of Nigeria, and he seems not to care about all those things he used to talk about.
I think it's rather disappointing and very frustrating that Mr. President, who campaigned on the platform of restructure, he promised copiously that he would restructure the polity. And I can tell you that large number of Nigerians who voted for him trusted his capacity to do so because he has been a champion of a restructured Nigeria. I recall that many, many years past, even before he became a governor, he gave an interview to one of the newspaper houses and said that he did not believe in Nigerian state. It was there that he didn't believe in Nigerian state, that he believed in a restructured polity. And then when they were campaigning as a political party in 2014, they dangled the carrot of restructuring to Nigeria, and Nigerians voted Muhammad Buhari. Suddenly, Buhari said it was the promise made by the party and not promise made by himself. So he declined such restructuring demand. Now entered President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who by himself and along with his political party promised to restructure. 2 years down the line, we are not seeing it. So I think it's very frustrating, and we cannot stop asking him to do that which he has promised, and that is restructuring. And we have also identified that only restructuring anchored on true fiscal federalism will solve all the various problems bedeviling Nigerian development, national cohesion, economic development, and has been frustrating Nigeria's capacity to occupy her prideful place in the Committee of Nations. So I am the Secretary General of Movement for Nigerian Restructure. So you can imagine how passionate I am and how passionate our people are with respect to issues about restructuring, not only on the side of economy, but also on the side of the politics, because the systems that we operate today are not healthy. And we are anchoring our argument that the statistics should be reduced to 6 administrative zones, such that a lot of money that is being wasted on bogus government expenditure will be channeled towards national development. So we cannot stop asking Mr. President to do that which we expect him to, and that is to set the template and set the ball rolling towards holistic restructuring of Nigeria as a country.
Very true, Barrister. It's so very important that you stated to the fact that you are a major stakeholder in the restructuring thing. But the truth of the matter is, so many Nigerians hear the word restructuring. They don't know what exactly it is. So can you help us break what restructuring is, such that a layman on the street would understand what that means, and possibly it will be a holistic desire and not just for the elites?
For the purposes of enlightenment, let me say that virtually every person who is literate should understand what restructuring means. But for purposes of enlightenment and for the obtained time, the structure of the country is not working. And why is it not working? Because of the unitary system that we operate. Every command and the control structure comes from Abuja. Every policy comes from Abuja. Every opportunity comes from Abuja. And we want the devolution of power such that the center is too strong as we speak. But we want a center that will not be too strong, but let the federating unit take over the strength of the country. Because every federating unit, now I want to refer to federating unit as the zone. Today we have 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. And every zone is blessed enough in terms of human and material resources to develop and contribute to the center. That is on the side of fiscal federalism. That's kind of fiscal restructuring. And when you talk about restructuring, it's only to amend a structure that is not working. If you have a car that is malfunctioning, what you do is to go and fix the car. If a country is not functioning well, you fix the country. And because a country functions on several tripods, we are talking about economic, we are talking about politics, we are talking about resource control, we are talking about development on all angles. As long as those things are not working well, you make them work. In order to make them work, you're already restructuring the system. So when we talk about restructuring, We are not talking about carving out any part of Nigeria from the current geographical entity that it is. Rather, we want all parts of the country to be working and working well, such that with devolution of powers, you will be in control of your resources and in control of your development.
But Barrister, don't you think, yes, Barrister, yes, don't you think that the fear the center could be having is not to see a repeat of what happened during the First Republic, such that when a particular region or zone sees itself as very powerful, that might give rise to secession, which of course we do not want for Nigeria? Don't you see that as an excuse?
I can tell you that it is even lack of restructuring that may lead to secession. If a country is restructured, every component part of the country will be living their lives the way they want. And let me tell you that even our presidential system of government that we practice, which we borrowed from America, is American-style presidential system. And why it is working over there and not working here is because in America, they operate through fiscal federalism, and they operate very robust federal structure.
Hi, still dear Barrister. We're still having a little bit of internet glitch there. Hi, still dear Barrister. Okay, yeah.
The component parts of the country, none is working towards development. Rather, everybody is waiting at the end of the month to go and get money from far. And what is the money? Where is the money coming from? It's coming from a particular region, that is the Niger Delta region that produces the oil. Yet that region is left to languish in poverty, which of course, if we through restructuring, that region will grow and develop. The north will grow and develop. The southwest will revert back to their cocoa and all that they have, grow and develop. And same with the southeast. So I believe that anybody who does not want to understand restructuring is only being unnecessarily ideous. If you want to be honest and straightforward, that is the best policy for Nigeria as a tool. Without that, yes, the security of the country is not guaranteed.
Yes, very, very true, Barrister. Although the Vice President Kashim Shettima, in one of his deliveries, said that he does not believe in restructuring. But I would love to ask you, Barrister, still on this particular matter, because I am so very interested in it. Don't you think that the state governments that we have, the sub-sovereign states that we have, that could be called, don't you think that should be used as a litmus test to know if really, if we are grouped together, we can manage ourselves? Because if the state governors do not even do what they ought to do with the little FAC allocations they have, how much do you think could be done if restructuring is allowed around the regions?
The difference between what happens today and what will happen when we entrench and enthrone a regime of true fiscal federalism is that, let me take, for example, your own zone. You generate your resources. You contribute to the center, and you utilize what you have generated to develop your place. Your people will not allow you to waste their resources. Obviously, nobody will allow you. But now that the current practice is that we go to Abuja, the seat of capital, we collect our check from federation account. You come back. Sometimes the people do not even know how much that has come to the state or how much that has come to the local government. And since they don't know, they care less about even how you utilize it. And that is why so many people are even not interested in paying taxes, because they feel that the money comes from Abuja and the governor utilize the money the way they want. But there will be more integrative approach. There will be more inclusive practice under restructuring, to the extent that no leader of any particular federating unit would want to mess up, because the people will not allow him to do so. So on the flip side, you see the restructuring working for the people, and then they will now develop and grow the way they want. It will also affect their religiosity, their spirituality, and their internal dynamics and politics. So there's no way. At least when we take the example of the good that is happening in America, then we will now know that with similar practice, our country will grow and get better.
Very, very true, Barrister. But let's take a look at other matters here. Less for more. How erratic supply shortchanges Band A households and industries. If you take a look at that front page paper of the Guardian newspaper, Barrister, you see a cartoon of that is actually very hilarious. A politician is holding on to two servicemen, one from NAC and the other one from Disco, and he's telling them he should use his generator to supplement our supply or go to court. So don't you think it is criminality for the government to allow for a Band A with the promise of giving them 20 hours a day? They don't give them 20 hours and indirectly asking them to supplement or to make available the rest with their generators. How far is this criminality going, and how can we possibly nip that in the bud?
I say this without fear of contradiction and without any equivocation, that the discrimination in our energy supply, in electricity supply, which the government has and its cohort, its agencies have stylishly called Band A, Band B, and Band C and D, is pure scam, complete scandalous criminal scam, which should not be in any particular country. And I can tell you that any government that is worth its ingredients, that is worth its integrity, should not allow that. After all, you pay for what you consume. The whole idea of paying in advance is that you pay for what you consume. But when you now come and you scam the people and tell them that you are providing them longer electricity time, what is important is not what you have provided, but what they have consumed. So now the pricing structure is anchored on provision and not on consumption. And even when the provision does not meet the milestone, the consumer still pay for it. And that is where the crime comes in. And I can tell you that it is only in Nigeria that such a scam can be pulled across in the eye of the people. And we cannot stop asking government to stop that scandal, to stop that scam called Band A, Band B, and Band C. Because the government has supported it, and that is why, through Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, and that is why the discos can do that. Meanwhile, the discos themselves, I mean the electricity distribution company, will claim that they pay for what through a transmission line, I mean through transmission company of Nigeria, from the generating company. So if they pay exactly what they consume, why are they now charging the consumer, ultimate and final consumer, for what they supply them and not what they consume? I think it's a lopsided policy that must be revisited and discontinued without delay.
Very true, Barrister. Unfortunately, we have a minister of power who said that Nigeria needs $10 billion of investment every year in our energy sector just to get it running. And he said that the said amount must be made available for the next 10 years. So I do not know if he understands what it means to build a new energy system from the ground up. I do not know. I would love to believe $10 billion is enough to create a brand new energy system for any country. Don't you think so?
Our power minister is not only inefficient, but ineffective. And he has added lack of truth to his portfolio. Nigeria has spent so much money in energy generation, in fact, so much money in electricity provision to the people. Between 1999 and 2024, that was last year, we have spent over $67 billion in electricity provision. Yet, we are still hovering around between 4,500 and 7,000 megawatts of energy. And meanwhile, our transmission links that have been yearning for replacement have not been replaced. The generating capacity of the country is not even enough. Yet, the one that is generated, a lot of them is wasted through transmission. I do not understand why government will still be holding on to TCN when they have privatized the generation and privatized the distribution. But the middle link, which is the transmission, is still in the hands of government. Some say it is because they want to patronize a section of the country that is usually not in tune with payment of the electricity bill. and that is why they don't want to release their foothold on the transmission link. Any serious-minded country that wants to provide energy for the citizen, a population of over 220 million people, be managing 5,000, 6,000 megawatts of energy is a far cry from what is expected. That is the provision of one council in a serious-minded country.
Yeah.
And I do not think that we don't have the capacity to do so. What is lacking is the will and the sincerity to provide energy for our people.
Very, very true, Barrister. Just before I let you go on this particular segment, I remember very vividly the last time we had you here physically, you were a very strong critic of the NNPC and the Mele Kyari. And we have it right here on the Guardian newspaper. Senators hit on NNPCL over 210 trillion Naira audit mess. Remember, Barrister, we were discussing this the last time you were here. And you actually criticized Mele Kyari and his leadership of the NNPC. Don't this vindicates what you had always, had as a submission, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a total vindication of what I have always submitted. That NNPC is Nigerian National Petroleum Corruption. That C there stands for corruption. And that is why even the Emir of Kano, Lamido Sanusi, described it as the most opaque wrong company in the entire world. There are many other many other countries that produce petroleum, and their own system does not run the way Nigeria's own run. Our own petroleum corporation company is the worst in terms of accountability, in terms of efficiency, and in terms of delivery and return on investment. Now, Nigeria is waking up to the reality that we have been talking about. As a matter of fact, some experts or some analysts describe the NNPC towers in Abuja as the twin towers of corruption. To the fact that everything around NNPC is surrounded in secrecy, in corruption, and the inefficiency. The only energy company that does not declare profit, and they only declare profit at their whim. It has always become the funnel of a scam for government officials. Today, we are now talking about trillions of naira in audit method. If you critically audit NNPC, you will not allow any of the staff to go home, especially the management staff. If the government is serious, they should look deep into NNPC and help Nigeria, because the time is running out very fast. Other countries that have oil resources are using their resources to diversify their economy. We are supposed to use the energy earnings, the earnings from crude, to diversify our economy. But even the minutest thing as maintenance of refinery has failed. None of the 4 government refineries is working. The same NNPC has scammed and hoodwinked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to clap for them that the Egbetokun refinery has been turned around and has worked today. What have we seen? We've seen that it was a mere jamboree and a mere scam on not only the government, but on the sensibilities of all Nigerians. So they should continue to beam their satellite on NNPC, uproot the corrupt tendencies of that organization, and restructure it for the betterment of Nigeria, such that the earnings from crude, the earnings from natural resources that we have can be used to diversify the economy into other aspects, industrialization, agricultural development, and research and development for the betterment of the future generation of Nigeria. The way we are running like a drunken man, like a drunken cell that does not think about the tomorrow. Be yet, we have children that we must cater for as a nation.
Very, very true, Barrister. Because I remember as at the time, NNPC invited legacy media stations, some of the best media stations in Nigeria, they all took themselves to Port Harcourt refinery, and they showed the world how that Port Harcourt refinery was already functional, not knowing everything was just mere scam. And the petroleum, or the PMS, they were actually distributing what was imported very long time ago. So that is just what criminality on its own, if you ask me. Don't you think so, Barrister?
So you can imagine such level of criminality that one can call executive corporate criminality, which should not have its place in any same country that wants to grow and develop. The rest of the world is moving. Nigeria is only interested in the negative, and is extremely very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, Barrister. And I will have to leave it at this particular point for now. And just to let you know, Barrister Fred Nzeakor would be here to take us on our main conversation. That is when we return. IG orders probe into 2 million naira police pension claim. That in a bit, Still Enterprise Friday. Please don't go anywhere.